Share my screen. Is my screen visible to everyone? Is the screen visible? Yes, okay, alright. So first of all, let's revise what we have done yesterday. Okay, so yesterday we have took an introduction to CSS, and today we are going to see the basics of CSS. Okay, so the first slide was about what is CSS. So the full form of CSS is Cascading Style Sheet. Okay, and this language CSS just describes how to display the HTML content in the browser, and it also includes color, layout and fonts, or also we can say designs of a website. Okay, so CSS language makes the website presentable and attracts the user. Okay, it is up to us that how design we have to create. Okay, so CSS is designed to style the website. So it was created by, I think so, Hakon. Yeah, Hakon VM Lai. He created the CSS language. Okay, and it does not depend on HTML fully. Okay, so it can be used to style any of the website used using XML based markup language. Okay, means wherever the XML based markup language is used, we can use CSS. Okay, so now let's see the meaning of CSS. So the meaning of CSS is styling of the HTML tags, styling our HTML tags, and writing our style in different documents. Okay, and this is similar like styling the document. Okay, so let's see the third slide. So third slide was about history of CSS. Okay, so firstly, CSS was created by Hakon VM Lai on 10th October 1994. Okay, at that time he was working with the CERN physicist Tim Berners-Lee. Okay, Sir Tim Berners-Lee. He was the creator of World Wide Web, means www, and the creator of HTML. Okay, so the full form of HTML is Hypertext Markup Language. Okay, so several other style sheet languages were proposed at that time. Okay, at the same time when Hakon VM Lai proposed the CSS language, at the same time many of the style sheet languages were proposed. Okay, so now let's see the version history of CSS. So the first one is in 1994. The CSS language was proposed on 10th October. Okay, and the second one is CSS was published on 17th November 1996 with the influencer Bert Boss, and then later he became the co-author of CSS, who Bert Boss. Okay, and then in 1996 CSS became the official language and was published in December. Okay, so CSS was became official language to create websites. Okay, and in 1997 this Hakon VM Lai created the level 2 of CSS on 4th October 1997. Okay, just a minute. Okay, and then in 1998 he published the level 2 of CSS on 12th May 1998. Okay, and the fourth slide was about the syntax of CSS. So the syntax of CSS is very simple and it is very logical. Okay, so the syntax of CSS consider two parts. So the first one is selector and then the second one is declaration. Okay, so the selector is the part which is used to select the element, tag, or else we can say the class name, ID name. Okay, so the class name indicates dot. Okay, so before the class name in CSS we use dot, and before the ID name we use hash. Okay, in CSS. Okay, that I will show you in today or tomorrow's lecture. Okay, and the declaration is just we are declaring the value. Okay, means we are declaring what styles we have to give for that selector. Okay, so here we have given an selector as h1 and then the declaration as color red. Okay, so the color is property and red is the value. Okay, so this is the simple syntax of CSS. And let's see the fifth slide. So the fifth slide was about how to implement CSS. So there are three ways to implement CSS. Okay, so the first one is inline CSS, second one is internal CSS, and third one is external CSS. Okay, so inline CSS just used to style the element in the tag itself, okay, in the element itself, in the starting tag, okay, like this. And it can be applied to any of the tag in HTML, okay. And okay, so that was for inline CSS, and the internal CSS was in the HTML document, okay, means we style the HTML document in the HTML document itself, okay, by the style element. Okay, so this is the style element. Here we have opened and closed the style element, and inside that style element we have created this declaration, okay, select and declaration. So this is called internal CSS, and internal CSS is applied in the head tag of HTML, okay, and we use style element to use an internal CSS. So let's see, the next one is external CSS. Okay, so external CSS, we create a external file for styling our website, okay, and the extension of that external file is .css, and the extension of HTML file is .html or .htm. Okay, so we link the external CSS inside the head tag, okay, that I will show you in the tomorrow's lecture. And today we are going to use internal CSS, okay, also we are going to use inline CSS also, okay. And it is the most, external CSS is the most suggested way by the professionals to use to style our website, as we get more space, and we can just keep our HTML document separate and CSS document separate, okay. So that was for yesterday's lecture. Is there any doubt in yesterday's lecture? Is there any doubt in yesterday's lecture? No? Anybody else? Okay, so yesterday we have seen this all, so let us move to today's lecture. So today we are going to see CSS basics, okay. So let us see in the first slide what it is. So first slide is about how to add colors, okay. So there are two ways, means there are two types of colors, okay. The first one is background color and the second one is color, okay. So background color adds the background color to the text, or we can say to the document, and color just adds the text color, okay. So here is the syntax of background color and this is the syntax of color. So this is very simple and this syntax is very logical also, okay. So we have selected h1 element and then we have given a background color of red, okay, and the background color is a property and red is the value, okay. So and for the color example, so selector is h1, then the declaration is color red, okay. So the color is property and the red is value. So likewise we have done how to add fonts. So there are many ways to add fonts. So the first one is font family, then font weight, then font size, font style, font variant, okay. So adding the default font, okay, means adding the external fonts, or we can say default fonts, or we can say internal fonts by web browser. So here by using font family property we can add fonts, okay, external font we can say, or else we can say internal fonts, okay, or we can say default fonts. And the second one is making the text bold, okay. So we can make text bold using this font weight property, okay. So there are four values. So the first one is thin, second one is normal, then bold, then bolder, okay. So these are four values, we are going to try it today. And the third point is add the size of fonts. So to add the size to the font, so we use font size property, okay. So we can add the font size in any of the value, okay, means there is rem, pixel, and then we can say em, then vh, vw, okay. So any of the format we can add the font size, okay. So fourth one is adding the font style in the text. So we can add the font style to a text using the font style property, okay. And there are, just a minute, okay, and there are three types, I mean three okay, we can say types also, three types of values, okay. So the first one is bold, normal, and then italic, okay. So the first option creates the bold text, and the second one creates just a normal text, and then the third one creates italic, okay. And if we have to give more than one value, to any of the property, then we just add this pipe. Okay, so this is called a pipe. So when we click shift and the backslash, then we get this.
Yes, sir.
Hello, is there any issue? Okay, alright. So let's see the fifth point, which is giving small caps effect to a text. Okay, so we give small caps effect by using font variant property. Okay, so there are 4 values again, and the first one is small caps, second one is normal, and the third one is initial, fourth one is inherit. So first value creates a small caps effect, second value just keeps it normally, and the third value keeps it initially, means as it is. Okay, and the fourth one just inherits the font variant from its parent element. Okay, means wherever it is wrapped, it will inherit their, what we say, their font variant. Okay, we can say their font variant it will inherit. Okay, so let's see the fourth slide, which is giving space using CSS. Okay, so there are many ways to give space in CSS. So the first one is margin, then padding, then letter spacing, then word spacing, then border spacing, then white spacing. Okay, so this white spacing is not much important, and border spacing is also not much important. So these 4 are important. Okay, so I will give a star as they are important and can be used many times. Okay, and these 2 are not much important as we can give it manually also. Okay, so the first one is margin. So as, just a minute. So as we hear the word margin, we just clicks in the mind that there is a margin, means there is a space between the text and the topper, what we can say, topper element. Okay, topper element or the website itself. Okay, and the padding just gives the padding. Okay, means these two look similar but not. Okay, but they are not. So this difference we are going to see in today's lecture by creating a website. Okay, a small website. So today I will give the difference between this padding and margin. Okay, by creating the website. So I will not explain it now. So the third one is letter spacing. Okay, so letter spacing is the thing that just gives the space between the letters of the text. Okay, or else we can say of the paragraph, or we can say h1. Okay, so that is the work of letter spacing. And then the fourth one is word spacing. So word spacing gives the space between the words, okay, in the paragraph, or we can say in the elements, means in headings. Okay, so this all for this slide. So next one is width and height, giving width and height. So there are two ways, not two ways. Okay, there are two ways. Okay, so the first one is giving width, means giving the simple width, normal width, or we can say giving maximum or minimum width. Okay, so maximum width means we give that the maximum width should be this and this much. Okay, and the minimum width is the thing that doesn't collapse between the given value. Okay, means if the minimum width is 2 rem, okay, then it will, when will collapse the web browser, then too it will not collapse before the 2 rem. Okay, means I will show you. Okay, so width just gives the initial width, means when we give width, then it is the fixed width. When we collapse the web browser, then also it is remaining same only. Okay, and it is similar for height also. Okay, so let's see the next slide, which is about the note. And the note is we can do everything in CSS, just we need to keep our CSS concept clear. CSS properties are very logical, such as font size, margin, padding, color, background color, etc. Okay, so here we have given that CSS language is very simple, and just we need to keep our CSS concept clear. Okay, so it is very logical. So like font size, margin, padding, color, background color, etc. Okay, so let us create a small website. We are having half an hour. Okay, so first of all, let's add a color. Okay, so I will open the VS Code editor, or else you can code in any of the code editor. Okay, so do you want to see how to install code editor, VS Code? Do you want to see? Yes, okay, alright. So first of all, go to the web browser, then just type VS Code editor. Okay, so it is the professional code editor for creating websites or for anything. Okay, so we'll just open this website from code.visualstudio.com, and here we'll get a download option. Okay, so here is the download option, download for Windows. So you have to just download it, click on the exe file, and then just install it. Okay, so this step is only important. So I'll just share this link in the chat section. You can go from here also, or you can just manually search, okay, from yourself. So let's move further. We are going to just open the folder, open folder. Just a minute. Okay, select folder. Here I will create a folder which is for day 4 code. Okay, just a minute. And here I'll just select the folder. Okay, and here I will create a file named index.html, and keep it in the mind that the first file, which is the home page of our website, should be named as index.html. Okay, so this is the main thing, which is the main rule of website hosting platforms. Okay, so let me just change this template to HTML template. Okay, and here I will just type the exclamation mark and I will get the boilerplate. Okay, so this is the boilerplate of HTML. So these are some additional meta tags which just gives the additional information about our website. Okay, so let us add the title as day 4. Let's add code also, code, and then we are going to first of all see, let us open the slide. So first of all, we are going to see how to add colors. Okay, so let us add a h1, and okay, so we can also do one thing in VS Code editor. If we type h1 also and hit enter, then it just generates an element for h1 tag. Okay, so this is the advantage of VS Code, that's why it is a professional editor. And then we are going to type in h1 as HTML and CSS basics. Okay, basics. Okay, so we are going to add the background color and text color to this. Okay, so first of all, let us use an inline CSS. So here in the h1 tag itself, in the starting tag, we are going to give a space and then type the style attribute. Okay, so when I just type style, hit enter, and then I'll just add a background color. Okay, background color I got in the suggestion box, and I will hit enter, then I will get many of the suggestions. Okay, many of the colors are there. So let's keep aqua. Okay, or else we can also say as a hex code. Okay, here we get an option in the VS Code editor. When we hover on this aqua, then here this box, when we click on this, then here we get the hex code of the aqua color, then we get the HSL color of the aqua color, then we get RGB color of the aqua color, and then okay, so that much only. So when we type aqua also, okay, AQUA, when we type aqua also, then too it is getting. Let's remove the hash. Okay, so then too it is getting. So let's put the hex code. Okay, so let's save this document and then open it with a live server. So what is a live server? That is the extension of VS Code editor that I told you in the last bootcamp, means the previous bootcamp. So to download that extension, we will just a minute. We will just go to this extension tab. Just a minute, let me expand this. Okay, we'll just go to this extension tab and then type here live server. Okay, and the first option we get that you have to just install it. Okay, so let me close it. Okay, now I will open it with live server. And what is the advantage of live server is without saving, means without reloading the document, we get that reflected in the web browser. Okay, so here we got the background color. Okay, so to the h1 element, so this is how we get the background color. Okay, now let's add the color. So here only after this semicolon we will type color colon, and then let us give the dark color, means black color. Okay, and then just a semicolon after that. So let's save it. So I have done an additional settings in VS Code to save it automatically when I change the tab. Okay, so I don't need to save it. I will just directly go to the browser and see here. I just got the black color. Okay, let us put the another color. Let's see. Let us put brown color. Okay, so when I save it and go to the web browser, okay, so here I get the brown color of the text, brown color text. Okay, so this is how we add background color and font color. Okay, so the next one is we are going to add this fonts. Okay, this fonts we are going to add. So first of all, let's add font family. We'll just create a paragraph P, and here I'll just type lorem ipsum. Okay, this lorem just creates a demo paragraph for us. Okay, so this is the lorem ipsum text. You can also get it on the browser when you will type lorem ipsum. Okay, here you will get this lorem ipsum generator. Then when you click this, then you will get the lorem ipsum text. Okay, so you can just copy this and paste it in. So okay, so let us add the fonts. Okay, so I will type the style attribute, style, and then I'll just add the font family. Okay, font family, and I'll just add sans serif. Okay, sans serif. When I save and come here, okay, so I get this sans serif font. Let's see another font. Let's say sans. I think so. It is a font. Okay, it is or not. I think so. Let's say serif. Serif. Okay, I'll save it and go to the web browser. It is also not the font. Let's add the external fonts. Okay, so first of all we go to Google Fonts. Okay, in the web browser. To add the external fonts, we go to Google Fonts. Google Fonts. Okay, when I hit enter, double N key. Okay, so here I got the Google Fonts website, and then we will just select the font which we want. Okay, and here also we can customize the font. So let us add the Roboto font. Okay, or else let us add another font, means we can recognize that. So let's add festive font. Okay, so here I'll just select this style, and then I will just copy this link. Okay, so I'll just copy this, Control C, and then I will go to my VS Code editor, and inside the head tag I will just paste that. Okay, so let me give the indentation. Okay, so this is the link from Google Fonts to add this festive font. Okay, so let us add the font family as festive, as here is given. Let's copy this, and here I will go and delete this all and just paste it. Okay, so let's remove the cursive font and let's test it. Okay, so when I go to the web browser, then you can see this festive font has came. Okay, we can also increase the font size. So let's see it. So the next one is font weight. Let's make it bold. Here after semicolon I will write font weight, WIGHT, and then the colon, then bold. Okay, and when I save it and go to the web browser, then we can see the text has become bold. Okay, so this effects, or we can say this magic, can become using CSS. Okay, let's give the font size. So let's give the font size, let's give it 1 rem. Okay, so 1 rem and 1 pixel is very much different. Okay, so let's give it 1 rem, so it remains as it is. And when I give 1 pixel, okay, let's give it 1 pixel and see what happens. Okay, so this small font came. Okay, so this is the difference between 1 pixel and 1 rem. Okay, if I give 100 pixel, then let's see what happens. Okay, so this bigger font came. Okay, so let's give it 2 rem is sufficient. Okay, 2 rem or 1.5 rem. Just a minute. Okay, so 2 rem is looking good. Let's try for 1.5 rem. 1.5. Let's save it and go to the web browser. Okay, so this is looking cool. Okay, so this is how we can give the font size to our paragraph, or we can say any of the element. Okay, let's give the font style. So here I'll just go after the semicolon, font style, and colon, and then I'll just give italic, and then I want to give the bold. Okay, italic and bold. So let's save it and go to the web browser. Let's add only italic and see how it works. Okay, so it is italic only by default. Okay, so it can't be italic. So let's add another font. Okay, let's cut it out. Control X, and then I will just add sans serif. Okay, and then I'll just save it and go to the web browser. Okay, so this becomes italic, and if I cut this, Control X and serif, and add here bold also, BOLD, then I should get, oh, that is the wrong syntax. So let us search on the Google. Googling is in website development is not wrong. Okay, wrong, it is allowed for web developers. Okay, so how to give more than one style in CSS. Okay, more than one font style. Okay, font style, but keep in mind that we have to search, that should be clear. Okay, so this is not multiple forms, CSS forms. Okay, let's see if it got, then it would be correct. I need font style. Okay, we can't get it, so let us leave that. We'll just Control Z it, and here also I'll just Control Z for the font family also, and save it in the and see it in the web browser. Why it doesn't reflects? Okay, I haven't saved it. Okay, so here I get the font family and font weight. Okay, so let's see, another thing that we have to see is font variant. Okay, is my voice audible clearly to everyone? Yes. Okay, so if there is any doubt, then you can ask me. Okay, don't hesitate. So let's see font variant. So here after I will type a semicolon and then font, then variant. variant. Okay, and then the semicolon, I mean the colon, and then I'll just type small hyphen caps. Okay, and then the semicolon. I haven't used this font variant. I am using this first time because it is not much important. Okay, so I am using this for your comfortability. Okay, so let's save it and see it in the browser. Why it didn't came? Let's see the syntax. Is it correct? I'll just copy this and then Control V. Okay, variant. Okay, A was there. What it came? Okay, so this is the bigger letter, means it is of capital letter. Okay, and if I give normal, let's give normal, let's see it. So this is the normal text. Okay, and this both I've explained you, initial and inherit. Okay, so let's move on. So in the fourth slide I have told you that margin and padding I will explain you while coding. Okay, so let me erase this font variant, or else I will keep it up, and I will just give a let's give image, or else let's give h1 only, and here I'll just write dev outlooks. Okay, outlooks. Okay, and here I'll just, now we will use the internal stylings. Okay, internal style sheet, how to use that. So in the head tag I will just hit enter and then type the style. Okay, style element, and when I hit enter I get the style element. Okay, and then I'll hit enter for the automatic indentation, and here I'll just select the h1 element. Okay, here I'll select the h1 element, hit enter and then give the space and enter the curly braces. Okay, so opening curly braces also generated and ending curly braces also. So when I hit enter, automatic indentation comes, and then here I will just add a margin. Okay, margin. So I'll just give the margin of 1 rem. Okay, when I will save this and go to the web browser, so here I get the margin. Okay, when I comment it out, so to comment the CSS syntax, so first of all let's see what is a comment. Okay, when we add a comment, the web browser just skips it. Okay, means it is for our understanding that why we have written this code, or else how we can create it better. Okay, so for CSS comment we can just use double slash. Okay, or else not double slash, one slash and then a star. Okay, and then after that I'll just do a star and then a slash. Okay, so this is the comment syntax of for CSS. So double slash is for JavaScript, and for HTML we can just add this less than bracket, then the exclamation mark, and then 2 hyphens. Okay, so this commented out, and for closing comment I will just add 2 hyphens and then the greater than symbol. Okay, so I will just, we can also we have also a shortcut for that. So when I press control slash I just get comment out. Okay, and here also I will just save this and see what comes. Okay, so here, okay, it has been saved. Let's add a p only. Okay, why it is not reflecting? Okay, let's comment, let's remove it from comment, and let's see by giving the larger value. Okay, so let me give 2. Okay, so this h1 element also gets selected. Okay, so let's give this a h1 and let's give it a class name. Okay, so class is a semantic tag. Okay, so let's give as a class name. It is for our understanding and for CSS and JavaScript understanding. Okay, not, it just not creates any another stylings for our website. Okay, so I will just give it a class name as demo. Okay, and to select this demo class in the CSS, we just type dot demo. Okay, so this is how we select the class. Okay, so before the class name we just add a full stop. Okay, we just add a period. So I just given a margin of 2 rem to it is rem. Okay, so that's why it was not reflecting. So let's save it and move to the web browser. Okay, so I get the left margin, top margin, right margin and bottom margin. We can't see right and bottom margin because there is nothing in the right and bottom. Okay, we can see the top and left margin. So let's give yrem. Let's see. Okay, so this came down also and from left also. So there are, we can give margin top also, bottom also, then right and left also. So for that we are having two ways. So the first one is in this margin tag itself, means margin property itself, how we can give that this first value is for top. Okay, let's give the first value as, let's give it 1 rem for top, and it rotates clockwise. Okay, so according to clockwise the next comes right. Okay, so right will be 0 and the bottom will be 1 rem. Okay, and let's give the left as 3 rem. Okay, let's give it 4 rem. Okay, so when I will save it and go to the web browser, okay, so this is 1 rem, this is 4 rem. Okay, this is 4 rem and bottom is 1 rem. Okay, and right one is 0. Okay, so this how we give in the margin property itself. And for giving a separate tag, so we can add, I mean separate property. Okay, so we can add margin top. Okay, and here we can give 1 rem. Okay, so this just overwrites this one. Okay, because this is written before and this is written afterwards. Okay, so this one overrides this one. When I give here margin top as 4, okay, let's see what comes. Okay, so margin top 4 has came, not 1. Okay, so that gets overwritten. Okay, that is called overwritten. Okay, so when I give margin, let's give right. Okay, so the right margin is 4 rem, so let's give it 1 rem. Let's see what comes. Let's reload. It has not been saved. Let's reload it. It is not reflecting, man. Okay, it is margin right. We have to give margin left. Okay, so I'll save it and move to my web browser. Okay, so margin left has become 1 rem. Okay, so this is how we can just override this property. Okay, and there is also margin bottom, and I'll give it 0, and margin rigst right. Okay, I'll also give it 0. Okay, so this is how we give margins. So let's see what is a padding. Okay, so when I give the background color, when I have given the background color to this h1 element, so let's add a padding to this. Okay, so when I will add this a class, let's add a class to this h1 element, class, and I'll write as demo padding. Okay, so class name can be similar but IDs should be different. Okay, so let's do this as ID. Okay, let's try ID also. So I've given this as ID of demo padding. Okay, so I will just control C, do control C for this, and here down I'll just add a hashtag, and then I'll just paste the demo padding. Okay, and then the curly braces and hit enter. So for ID, to select ID in CSS, we just use hashtag. Okay, and in JavaScript also we use hashtag before the ID name. Okay, so let us give the what we are giving, yes, padding, sorry, padding. So padding, let's first give the margin top. Okay, margin top, let's see how it looks. Margin top as 2 rem. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so this margin key, and let's see what the padding does. Okay, padding, I will do it of 2 rem. Okay, so let's see, let's save it and see it in the browser. Okay, so this given inner margin. Okay, this is called as inner margin, which is also called as padding. Okay, and this is the outer margin, which is normally called as margin. Okay, so this is the called as padding. Okay, and padding also have two ways to add the customized padding. So the first one is like this only, like it is like margin only. Okay, Control Z. So the first one is like this only, and the second one is like this only. So let us add the margin padding top as 2 rem, then the padding right as 0, padding bottom as 4 rem, and then the padding left as, let's add 10 rem. Okay, let's see how it looks. So let's say it in the browser. So we got this paddings. Okay, and we can also erase this default paddings. Okay, erase this default margins and paddings of the web browser. Okay, by adding in the style that here I will just add a property as selector as star. Okay, the star means everything in the HTML document. Okay, so I'll just select the star, and in the curly braces I'll just add margin 0 and then padding 0. Okay, so this will erase all the default margin and padding of the web browser. So let's see it in the web browser. So okay, so this padding has been gone. Okay, margin and padding of web browser. So here it is from very starting of the our point of view. Okay, our view. So it is from very starting of the web browser. Okay, so and this also background color is also from very starting, and this also. Okay, so this is how we can select whole the web page, and also we can give the default font size also and font family also. Okay, for everything in the HTML document. Okay, so this is the difference between padding and margin. So is there any doubt in padding and margin? Is there any doubt? No. Anybody else? No. Okay, so if any doubt is there, then you can ask me. Okay, so is it interesting? Is the code interesting? Are you feeling excitement? Yes. Okay, so it is very interesting because we just customize it as our needs. Okay, as our self, as our mind says. Okay, as our creative mind says. Okay, so let's see another thing, that is giving width and height. So let us give the width to this this HTML and CSS basics wala. Okay, so here I have given an ID as demo padding, so I will just give the width to this one. So let's give the width, or else we'll just create a different tag for that. Okay, so let's add a div. Okay, so div is the semantic element which is created in the HTML5 version. Okay, that I told you in the HTML version history. Okay, so the first or second lecture I have told you. So here I will just give a class. Let's give it an ID. Let's give it an ID of width and height. Okay, width and height. Okay, and I'll just copy this, and here I'll just add a hashtag and then paste this. Okay, so in the curly braces I will just add the background color first. Okay, without adding the background color we will not be able to see the div element. Okay, so let's firstly add the background color as this only. Okay, this color only, or else let's change this as green color. Okay, so when I open this, okay, so we can't see anything as the width and height are not what we can say, are not instructed to the div element. Okay, so let's add the width and height. So let's say width as 500 pixel and the height as 500 pixel. Okay, so this will be a square. So let's save it and move to the web browser. Okay, so I got this. Let's make it smaller as 200 pixel, and this also 200 pixel. So let's see it in the web browser. Okay, so this is little bit smaller. So let's add a margin. Okay, let's add margin. Let's do it. We can also, there is another way, there is one more way to add margins. Okay, means that is for x and y axis. So the first one is for y axis and then is for x axis. Okay, so that is the format. So let's give for x and y axis. Okay, is the third way to add margins and paddings. So I will give 2 rem from top and bottom. Okay, and from left and right I'll just give 4 rem. Okay, so let's save it and see it in the web browser. Okay, so 2 rem from top and bottom and 4 rem from left and right. Okay, so this is called the third way. Okay, so this is width and height. Okay, so here we have given an initial width and height. So I will introduce you to one more tool. Okay, which is inspect tool. So when we click on this, when we right click on the web browser on our website and then click on inspect, then we get this sidebar. Okay, and when we click on this, this is called the toggle device bar. Okay, toggle device toolbar. So here when I collapse it, okay, when I collapse it, then the width of this box remains constant. Okay, means it does not change. Okay, when we give the minimum width and minimum height, let's try it. Let's give it to this only as minimum width as, let's give 100 pixel and then the maximum height as 500 pixel. Okay, so here let's see what it does. Okay, so this is the 500 pixel width, and when I collapse it, okay, when I collapse it, see, this is collapsing. Okay, this is also collapsing, so it will move till it become of 100 pixel. Okay, so this is the 100 pixel. Okay, and when I expand it, okay, so when I expand it, this also gets expanded, and this is the maximum width, which is 500 pixel. Okay, is there any doubt in maximum and minimum width? Because it is also confusing topic. Okay, is there any doubt? Anybody else? Okay, let it be. So this is minimum width and height. So let's try minimum height and width. Okay, not width, only minimum height. Okay, minimum height and maximum height. So let's give the minimum height as 100. Okay, and then the maximum height as, maximum not width, height. Okay, height as 500. Okay, let us give it 500 only, 500 pixel. So let's save it and move to the web browser. So here, what happened? Okay, here only width gets initiated, minimum and max. Okay, let's add some content below this and let's see what it does. Let's remove this class of dev outlooks and let's see what it does. Okay, it is not giving, but it should work. Okay, let's save it and move to our web browser. Okay, it is not working. Hence, I think so there is no need of minimum and maximum height, as we can keep our website responsive using CSS. Okay, that I will tell you in the next future bootcamps. Okay, so in this bootcamp we are not going to create a responsive website. Okay, so the time is also getting over, so I will just sum it up. Okay, so minimum width and height is not much important, so I'll just give only the height as 500 pixel. Okay, pixel, and save it and see in the web browser. Okay, so this reflects. When I collapse, then it also gets collapsed. So let's see another. That is nothing. Okay, so you can just see all the CSS concepts in this W3 website, that we can say CSS tutorial. I will just tell you in the tomorrow's lecture that what is the needed tags. Okay, what is the needed properties for our website that we are going to create, as every property is logical, okay, very logical. So here in the CSS we can just give borders, backgrounds, colors, padding, margin, height, width, box model, outline, text, icon, fonts, links, not links. We can also give max width, position, z index. So this I will tell you tomorrow, okay, and I will explain this whole content which is given in this index of W3 schools. Okay, so what is responsiveness? This is the one topic that I want to tell you. Okay, so let us see the example of this Meet only, or else let's see of YouTube. Okay, so let's see the example of YouTube. When I open the YouTube and hit on inspect element, okay, inspect tool, so let the YouTube open clearly. Okay, so I will just right click and click on inspect, and when I click on this device, no, I don't want to click it. So here this dimension, okay, this dimension I will just give which size I am required. Okay, I want, so I will just click on this Nexus 5, right down. Okay, that is not there, so let's add Galaxy S5. So this how the YouTube looks in Galaxy S5. Okay, so this is not accurate, but it just gives the idea. Okay, it just gives the idea that how can it be looked. Okay, let's say in the Moto 4G G4 I mean, so it looks similar. Let's see on the iPhone 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is much bigger, and let's see on iPad. Okay, so this how we can just create a responsive website for our website. Okay, responsiveness for our website. Okay, so this how we create responsive website. So this all for today's lecture. I will share this file in our group. Okay, so you can join the group, in it is free. So I'll just share the PPT also and the group code also. Okay, means you can refer it and learn from it. Okay, so this all for this lecture. So thank you. I'll just share the attendance